왜 벗어?
작업해야지. 그렇게 좋니? 네.
The Thieves, a thrilling heist film that exposes humanity's greed and betrayal. When money and profit are at stake, love, family, and loyalty mean nothing. This movie is packed with double crosses and mind-bending schemes, where every twist leaves you stunned and amazed by the intricate cons. Blending heists, undercover cops, revenge, and high-octane action, the film delivers something for everyone. Add an all-star cast and jaw-dropping visuals, and it's no wonder it captivates audiences of all ages. Meet Asia's most ruthless and arrogant crime syndicate. Even elite SWAT teams can't stand in their way. At the top of this vicious group is Wei Hong, a cutthroat leader who rules with an iron fist. Anyone foolish enough to negotiate with him ends up paying the ultimate price. But even Wei Hong isn't immune to danger, especially when two daring teams of thieves set their sights on his prized diamond. With Macau Park acting as the middleman, Korean and Chinese crews team up for the ultimate heist. On the Korean side, the lean and wiry Popey leads his four-member gang, including 2 women and 1 man. The standout among them is the alluring and seductive Yenikal, a master at using her beauty as a weapon. Joining Yenikal is Chewing Gum, who pretends to be her mother and has a knack for sweet-talking and outsmarting people, especially if they like a drink or two.
그러니까 우리 딸이 이 관장님한테 순결을 줬다 이거죠?
Their latest target? A museum curator who becomes their prey under the guise of a harmless mother-in-law visiting her son-in-law. Meanwhile, up on the roof, Zampano, the teen's gadget and tools expert, stands ready to assist. As Chewing Gum distracts the curator by pretending to admire the collection, Yenikal wastes no time. She slips out of her clothes and springs into action. Not only is Yenikal stunningly beautiful, but she's also skilled at flying across wires like a true acrobat.
슉 갑시다. 가자.
Using her physical prowess, Yenikal slides through the ventilation ducts and into the vault. In mere moments, she switches out a priceless ancient incense burner with a cheap trinket from a dollar store. On the other side of the heist, the Chinese team, led by the ever-calm and composed Chen, is working its own angles. Chen's approach is all about staying cool, even turning a robbery into a friendly chat with the police.
小文，我都話咗第5分鐘就到㗎啦，打到去取消警報啦。
哎呀，唔好意思啊，我啱啱以為咧老闆佢要打咋，唔好意思啊。
唔好意思啊，唔好意思啊，撳錯掣。
哦，撳錯掣，成日都有㗎啦。
Originally, Chen's crew consisted of just 3 men, but they called in an expert safecracker for this job. Enter Julie, the daughter of a legendary locksmith from Tayo Fishing Village in Hong Kong. A quick note about Chen's crew: Andrew, one of the members, is a Korean orphan whom Chen took under his wing. Macau Park gathers the 2 thief crews at a tea house, where their greetings are anything but conventional.
哎呦，小妞儿，讲得挺标准的，海笑，讲得挺标准的。
이 머리끈 하신 한테 뭘 한 거야 지금?
유니콜 네 얼굴 고친 거냐고.
이 왕대가리 새끼가 이렇게 태어나기가 얼마나 어려운데? 응?
Macau Park gets straight to business, revealing the target, a diamond called Tear of the Sun, valued at a staggering $50 million. The diamond will be brought to a Macau casino by Tiffany, the mistress of the ruthless crime boss Wei Hong. At first, both crews are hesitant. Robbing someone connected to Wei Hong sounds like a death wish, but when they hear that the diamond could sell for $20 million, their hesitation turns to excitement. After all, gangsters might be scary, but broke thieves? That's worse. Macau Park reassures them he's thought everything through. He reveals a notebook filled with the names of every major fence in Asia. Even selling it back to Wei Hong is a possibility. Things take a personal turn when Macau Park notices that Popey has brought along Pepsi. The moment Macau Park lays eyes on her, his expression darkens. The tension is palpable. Pepsi's lingering, betrayed gaze makes it obvious that Macau Park once hurt her deeply. To ease everyone's concerns, Macau Park introduces the informant who provided the details, Tiffany's half-sister. She leaked the intel as an act of revenge against her older sister. The informant lays out the challenges. The casino vault is impenetrable. The diamond is locked in Tiffany's 30th floor suite, secured by 2 safes. The suite door is protected by a magnetic lock. And here's the twist: Tiffany has a surgically implanted heart device that syncs with the lock, making her the only person who can open the door. Oh, and the fee for this valuable intel? Whatever cash they find in the safe is hers. As soon as the informant leaves, Chewing-gum pulls out a bottle of fine liquor, claiming it's for an early celebration. In reality, she just couldn't resist having a drink. While everyone is busy drinking, Julie takes the opportunity to plant a listening device in Macau Park's lighter under the guise of lighting a cigarette. The history between Macau Park and Pepsi starts to unravel, a tale dating back to a gold heist 4 years ago. Back then, Macau Park and Pepsi were a couple, a legendary pair of thieves. Popey, at the time, was just a junior member tasked with handling the steel cables. But during the heist, as Macau Park descended the cable to make his escape, it suddenly snapped. Although Macau Park managed to evade the police, the gold and he vanished without a trace. Pepsi, who had recently been released on parole, joined this job only because Popey told her it was arranged by Macau Park. Naturally, she also saw it as a chance to confront him. Later that evening, Pepsi went to see Macau Park. Macau Park defended himself, saying he had a clear conscience and that the gold was rightfully his. Pepsi, however, felt betrayed, believing that their bond should have meant something more, but Macau Park coldly dismissed her concerns.
우리가 무슨 로미오와 줄리엣은 아니잖아.
The two parted on bad terms, the tension between them unresolved. Yet Pepsi hadn't come just to reminisce. Back in her room, Popey entered shortly after her. Pepsi handed over what she had stolen during her visit Macau Park's list of buyers. Popey, pleased with the outcome, immediately called his contacts in Korea to arrange for a replica of the diamond to be made. Unbeknownst to them, their entire conversation had been overheard by Yenikal, who was sneaking around outside, helping herself to the stolen liquor. Feeling triumphant, Popey had another scheme in mind. He wanted to double-cross Macau Park one more time. Back in the day, it was Popey who sabotaged Macau Park's steel cable. Why? First, for the money. Second, because Popey had feelings for Pepsi. The next day, the two crews of thieves arrived in Macau and began their operation. First up, Shen and Chewing-gum disguised themselves as a flashy Japanese couple, boldly throwing money around at the casino tables. Meanwhile, Andrew, Shen's younger associate, was tasked with scouting the layout and tracking the movement of security personnel. Popey kept a close eye on Tiffany, who was accompanied by two bodyguards, one sticking to her side while the other guarded the door to her luxurious 30th floor suite. Yenikal and Zampano formed a duo with one objective: securing the casino manager's access card. Yenikal planned to use her charm, but things didn't go as expected. The manager took a liking to Zampano instead. Reluctantly, Zampano had to sacrifice himself to get the job done. To seize control of the casino's surveillance room, they needed to smuggle firearms inside. Andrew bribed an elderly food delivery man to hide the gun in a meal cart and wheel it straight into the casino. As for the two safes in Tiffany's suite, they were assigned to Julie, the master lockpicker, and Pepsi. Julie, renowned for her ability to pick locks without tools, credited her skills to her family's legendary touch. But Julie had a secret: she was actually an undercover cop. The Hong Kong police had been tracking Wei Hong for years, but no one had ever seen his face. As the leader of his crew, Shen felt uneasy about stealing Wei Hong's diamond and selling it back to him. A chilling memory haunted him. 10 years ago, Shen and a partner had sold stolen goods to Wei Hong. The moment his partner hesitated, Wei Hong killed him on the spot. Now they weren't just selling stolen goods, they were stealing Wei Hong's diamond. Shen knew the consequences would be fatal. That's why Shen's real goal wasn't the diamond. He was planning to rob Tiffany, Wei Hong's mistress, of her money instead. To create a distraction, Zampano was sent to climb to the rooftop using steel cables, while Macau Park staged a fight with Popey in the casino. However, their staged confrontation turned real. Macau Park revealed he'd long suspected that Popey was the one who sabotaged his cable all those years ago. Angry and flustered, Popey stormed out of the casino and headed to the pier to book a getaway boat for the next day.
How many people?
One.
Meanwhile, Pepsi received the fake diamond that had been shipped from Korea. In the early hours, the two crews of thieves began their operation. Yenikal departed from Chen and Chewing-gum's suite but happened to catch a glimpse of something unexpected. Chen and Chewing-gum were having an affair.
예니콜 조심하고. 티파니는?
티파니는 이미 1시간 전에 카지노로 갔어.
티파니不能离开VIP室。长哥，你一定要留着她。
放心吧。
With everyone in position, the plan was set into motion. Once the surveillance room was taken over, they would have only 10 minutes to complete their heist. As for Macau Park, he was blacklisted by the casino, so his job was to stay outside and provide support. As Johnny and Andrew stormed into the surveillance room with guns drawn, Popey led the two master thieves, Pepsi and Julie, sprinting toward the target suite. While Johnny cut the power to the surveillance room, the elderly delivery man, part of their plan, was making his way into the casino vault. Moments later, the power to the casino vault also went out. Meanwhile, Yenikol had already cut through the glass of the suite's wall and slipped inside. She unlocked the door from within, letting Pepsi and Julie into the room. By the time they entered, the backup power for the vault had already kicked in. When the vault manager realized the surveillance room wasn't responding and their phones had no signal, he followed protocol and locked down the vault. Nobody inside could leave until the police arrived. In the suite, Pepsi got to work with a power drill, while Julie relied solely on her legendary sense of touch to crack the safe. But before they could finish, Chen was already pulling off his own robbery in a VIP room. What no one expected was this: when the safe in the suite was finally opened, the Tear of the Sun diamond wasn't there. The thieves had all been played. Unbeknownst to them, the police monitoring Macau Park's car were also duped. Suddenly, the supposed informant Tiffany's half-sister delivered a package to the officers. Inside was the listening device that Julie had planted in Macau Park's lighter. The police immediately rushed to check Macau Park's car, only to find it empty. In reality, Macau Park was already inside the casino vault. Cracking open its safe, the diamond had been stored in the vault all along. Disguised as the elderly delivery man, Macau Park casually placed the diamond in a bowl and walked out of the vault without raising any suspicion. Meanwhile, the rest of the team was left to face the fallout of their failed heist. Disguised as a server, Yenikol was stopped by security for questioning. Unable to understand Chinese, she nervously blurted out a curse she had heard Julie use earlier.
啊？说什么了他？
你名字叫臭婊子。
Understanding Chinese and driven by his feelings for Yenikol, Zampano rushed over without hesitation.
那男的是谁？
Boldly, he signaled to the guards that he was the thief, sacrificing himself so Yenikol could escape. Meanwhile, Popey, Julie, and Pepsi were swiftly captured. Julie had been an undercover cop all along. This left only Chen and Chewing Gum in the middle of their chaotic getaway. But Chen wasn't about to surrender. He hijacked a car from a bystander and sped off with Chewing Gum. Chewing Gum initially thought they'd made it out safely, but Chen had been shot. Moments later, Chen collapsed, causing the car to crash into a parked vehicle. Before they could recover, a massive truck slammed into their side, killing them both on the spot. Meanwhile, Pepsi, Andrew, and Popey, who had been cuffed and loaded into a police vehicle, suddenly freed themselves and attempted to hold the officers at gunpoint to force them to stop the car. Pepsi attempted to unlock her handcuffs using an earring, but it slipped out of her hand during the struggle. A chaotic fight broke out inside the van, which eventually careened onto an unfinished bridge. Luckily, concrete barriers prevented it from plunging into the river. As the van teetered on the edge, Popey and Andrew escaped through the back, leaving Pepsi behind. When the police pursued them on foot, the van lost its balance and plunged into the river with Pepsi still inside. Just as she was about to drown, Macau Park, still in his elderly disguise, appeared to save her. Pepsi woke up later in a hotel room, confused and holding a mysterious key in her hand. When she reunited with Popey at their safe house, she immediately slapped him. Popey didn't hold back either, accusing Pepsi of knowing Macau Park had set them up and staying silent. But as soon as he saw her expression, Popey backed down. Now, only 4 members remained: Pepsi, Popey, Yenikol, and Andrew. Elsewhere, Macau Park had escaped but was under police surveillance. The authorities were holding off on arresting him to use him as bait for the biggest fence in Asia, Wei Hong. Macau Park was fully aware he was being tracked. When he called Wei Hong to arrange a deal in Busan, he made no effort to hide his location, determined to track down the woman who had sold them out. The 4 remaining thieves began searching for the informant. They traced her through a rented Rolls-Royce and found her address in Hong Kong, but the house was empty. Using phone records, they discovered she had also headed to Busan.
카메론?
The woman, it turned out, was a con artist aspiring to be an actress. Though a fraud, she was fiercely loyal to her friends. No matter how hard they pressed, She refused to betray any information, but the group soon discovered her one weakness, her pet. Meanwhile, the Hong Kong police teamed up with their Korean counterparts to keep Macau Park's residents under close surveillance. They were waiting for Wei Hong's arrival to make their move. The remaining 4 thieves, Pepsi, Popey, Yenikal, and Andrew, hatched a plan to lure Macau Park into meeting with the con woman. They disguised themselves as elevator repair workers to infiltrate Macau Park's apartment building. Popey pretended to fix the elevator while Pepsi and Yenikal sneaked into Macau Park's apartment to search for the diamond. As Pepsi scoured the apartment, she suddenly recalled Macau Park's mention of renting 2 rooms. Trusting her instincts, she searched a second unit based on his habits. Her hunch was correct. While rummaging through the apartment, Pepsi overheard Macau Park's conversation with the con woman, who was stalling him with small talk.
여자로 믿지 마요. 뽀뽀해 하고 그 여자가 당신 배신했다며. 그래서 다리도 다치고.
맞아, 그때 떨어져 다리가 작살났지.
Macau Park revealed that during the alarm-triggered chaos years ago, he had escaped through the sewers. When he returned home, he had witnessed Pepsi and Popey drunkenly kissing in a moment of grief, which had deeply affected him. While eavesdropping, Pepsi accidentally dropped her earpiece. As she turned on a light to find it, she spotted the diamond hidden inside a lampshade. However, Pepsi didn't take it. Instead, she decided to leave it for Popey to deal with. Declaring she was done with the betrayal and manipulation, just as she stepped outside, Yenikal appeared. Without hesitation, Yenikal snatched the fake diamond from Pepsi's pocket and climbed through the window to re-enter the apartment. At the same time, Macau Park learned from the con woman that the others were in his building, but he remained unshaken. As he descended to the ground floor, Wei Hong's men showed up. Macau Park led them back upstairs, where they ran into Pepsi coming down. Meanwhile, Yenikal found the real diamond hidden in the lampshade and swapped it with the fake. However, just as she was about to leave, Wei Hong's henchmen entered the apartment, forced to improvise. Yenikal hid in the ceiling.
壮士呢？
壮士在那儿，鉴定去另外一间房。
The moment Wei Hong appeared, the Korean police sent in SWAT units to surround the building. Years ago, Macau Park's father had collaborated with Chen to fence stolen goods to Wei Hong. Macau Park, hiding under the bed at the time, had narrowly escaped with his life after witnessing his father's murder. This heist was his carefully plotted revenge. Wei Hong, despite learning the truth, remained defiant, boasting that Macau Park wouldn't live to see another day. What he didn't realize was that SWAT had already surrounded the building.
反正你会在这里被抓。
这个血氧啊高。
When SWAT attempted to breach the apartment, Wei Hong's henchmen opened fire, proving their reputation as ruthless enforcers. As the firefight escalated, Macau Park tried to escape through a window, but Wei Hong spotted him. Wei Hong, known for leaving no loose ends, sent mercenaries after him. Using his expertise with zip lines, Macau Park leaped from the window to another building. One mercenary attempted to mimic his move but was electrocuted by Macau Park's trap. Macau Park continued to outmaneuver his pursuers, taking down another killer before finally escaping. However, as he pushed open a door, he was met by SWAT officers waiting for him.
야야, 총소리 가까워졌다.
내 인생을 던진다.
그래, 자.
밑에서 기다려.
To stop Macau Park from taking the diamond, Popey grabbed a sharp piece of metal, ready to strike. Macau Park was visibly heartbroken. The betrayal from someone he once treated as a younger brother had cut deeply. Not only had Popey sabotaged him years ago, but now he was willing to kill for the diamond. Despite being the superior fighter, Macau Park chose not to harm Popey. Instead, he left him behind and made his own escape. Disguised as a SWAT officer, Macau Park quietly vanished amidst the chaos. However, this scene was spotted by the pursuing female cop, Julie. Elsewhere, Wei Hong was finally captured by the combined forces of Chinese and Korean commanders.
Where's Macau Park?
부산항. 아, 부산 피해.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, Popey, attempting to flee with the diamond, was caught up to by Andrew, but Popey never anticipated that the $50 million diamond would be crushed under the wheels of a passing motorcycle. It turned out that Yenikol had swapped the real diamond with a fake one she had obtained from Korea. To ensure her escape, Yenikol swiftly stripped off her clothes. When the SWAT team arrived, she wrapped herself in a towel and appeared as an innocent civilian, mistaking her for a victim. The SWAT officers carefully escorted her to a medical van. Hidden in Yenikol's hair was the real Tear of the Sun. At the docks, Macau Park reunited with Pepsi, who was waiting for him, but just as quickly, Wei Hong appeared, forcing Macau Park to hide behind a suitcase. As Wei Hong searched for him, Julie, the determined cop, also arrived at the docks. Amid the chaos, Pepsi was captured by Julie.
魏红，
She wanted to report the arrest to her superior, unaware that her commander had already been killed. In the story's final twist, Pepsi finally uncovered the stash of gold she had been searching for. Hidden for years in the trunk of her old car, the key Macau Park had given her unlocked the newly installed trunk lock, revealing the treasure. Meanwhile, Yenikol made her way to Hong Kong, where she attempted to sell the diamond, but before she could complete the deal, Macau Park, once again disguised as an elderly man, stole the diamond right out from under her nose. And with that, the film ends.